Hey, this is eViews, and this is kind of a follow-up of my original video on how to change your analogs on your PS4 controller from the PS4 analogs to the Xbox One analog sticks, as you can see right here. So if you haven't seen that video, just check the link in the description or annotation right here. And after that video, someone commented saying that after they did the mod, their touchpad stopped working. So at first I thought they might have missed something like putting in the ribbon cable or something. But when I checked mine, I thought, let me test mine out, because I haven't actually tested it since doing the mod, and mine wasn't working either. But I found a fix for it, and it's actually not that major, so if you had the touchpad problem, you're in luck, because hopefully the fix shouldn't be too bad at all. So starting off, again, the same thing, opening the 4 screws, pushing it up from here, and you can open it straight up, flip it over, pull out this ribbon cable right here, look under the battery, unscrew that right there, don't lose a screw like I almost did, and then just flip up the internals like that. That's what I did in the last video, but I think doing that, flipping it over straight away, is actually not the best because it kind of pulls on the touchpad cable. So this is the problem here, it pulls on the touchpad cable and pulls it from the inside as well. There's another connection in the inside of the touchpad that just clips off, which is a simple fix because you can just clip it back on. So before you flip this, just make sure that you've either pulled it out or just flipped it very carefully without pulling it too much. I'm just going to pull it out with my finger right here. If you can't do that, use tweezers, it's a lot easier. But then once you've got that cable out, you can flip it over, move that to the side, and here we go, we've got a touchpad right there. And as you can see, if you feel your ribbon cable and it's really loose, like that isn't loose, but when it's really loose it almost pops out an extra centimeter or so, that's when you know the cable in the inside has popped out. I've already fixed mine, but I'm just going to show you what you have to do here. So here you can see this is 2 separate pieces of plastic. What you want to do is get your finger underneath the upper layer of plastic. If you can't, just get like a card or a screwdriver or something, and you can see that it's just stuck with double-sided tape. And as you can see, we can pull that out like that. So it's just a piece of plastic stuck on with double-sided tape. Not too hard to get off at all. Once you get underneath that, you'll see that there's a ribbon cable there. If yours has stopped working, it would most likely be disconnected right there. And it's a bit of a pain to get in at first. Basically, you just pull that to get it off. And to put it back in, just make sure you've got it in a good amount like that. Goes in, and then there's this small brown clip on top you just flatten. I don't know if you can see that, but you can just flatten that, as you can see, and that should be kind of locked into place. The clip is a poor design, and it's quite loose, so if it does get tugged from here when you're opening it, it will pop out. Just to make sure there's a bit of resistance, I put some double-sided tape, which you can do as well, just some really thin double-sided tape underneath the ribbon cable, so hopefully if it does get pulled a little bit, that's going to stop it a little bit as well. So now we get that piece of plastic, thread it through the ribbon cable like this. There you go. Get that through, and you can put some new double-sided tape on here if you want. I'm not really going to bother, I'm just going to line it up with the correct points and just stick it back down. And that right there should be the fix to for your touchpad. If you accidentally pulled on this cable while doing a mod on your PS4 controller or opening it up, putting back that ribbon cable is usually the first thing you want to try out. So now we can just put the controller back together using the reverse order of opening it up. Stick the touchpad in like that, twist it back in, grab the internals, drop it into place like that. Make sure it's all in, flip the battery over. You can now tighten that screw. I always tighten up screw before I put that touchpad ribbon cable back in, because this way the motherboard is as far down as possible and it doesn't make you stretch the touchpad cable so much. I also want to mention, after you get to this stage, after you screwed in the motherboard in place, you want to make sure that this part of the touchpad is actually connected properly. It might look like it's going in, but just make sure it clips in fully. If not, you might have to look underneath this black plastic right here and make sure that the clip is secure and actually holding in the other part of the touchpad. So just push it in like that, and it will go in about that much, just to make sure. And you'll feel it that it fits in really snug. If it's not snug and it's a bit loose, just take a look underneath this black plastic. You can just pull it out, and you can make sure that the touchpad cable is secured in place. But that is pretty much it of what could actually be wrong with your touchpad. If it's not the ribbon cable, then it's probably something a bit more severe. But for people that might have had this problem after doing that analog mod with the Xbox One analogs, just try this, give this a try, and hopefully that should fix your problem. So now just putting the case back to normal, flip it over, put the ribbon cable in, and then plug that back in, and that's pretty much it. So now you can just screw that back in and just give your touchpad a test once you've tried these fixes. The easiest way is to go into the messages app, try and message one of your friends, and use the touchpad typing option. So you might be able to click using the touchpad, and that will work. Even if your touchpad is broken, the button will work. But if you can't actually swipe around on the touchpad and it moves, then that's your touchpad busted. So after these fixes, hopefully your touchpad should be working fine. And that's pretty much it for this video. Hope this helps for anyone who might have accidentally broken their touchpad. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.